Hey, Angie Nelson here from theworkathomelife.com. Today I'm actually answering a question that was left here on the YouTube channel, and that is, what are some legitimate opportunities to make some extra money by making deliveries? Now, in years past, this used to be kind of an industry that sounded a little gimmicky, or maybe it wasn't always on the up and up. But today, there are actually several legitimate opportunities where you can make some great cash on the side by just doing things like making grocery deliveries or delivering packages. And those are some of the opportunities that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to be sharing some great apps with you as well. So make sure you stay until the end of the video to find out more about some of these great opportunities and some other ways that you can make some extra cash on the side. Now, one of the reasons that a lot of people really love these opportunities is because of the flexibility. They can make for a really great side gig because you do have the opportunity in many of these cases to just log into the app and start working anytime that you have some available time. You don't necessarily need to be on a schedule with a lot of these opportunities that I'm sharing today. You can just pick it up and go or lay it down anytime that you see fit. So it's going to be one of those opportunities that you may want to put into place now, even if you aren't going to be doing a lot of regular driving. It is something that you can pick up anytime that you need some extra cash. Now, there are going to be some typical requirements regardless of the opportunity that we're speaking about today. So those are some of the things that I wanted to cover first. Now, the first one is you are going to need to be the age of majority in your state. That can vary a little bit from state to state here in the U.S. Some states are just 18, I believe some are 19, and some may be 21 as well. So that is something that you are going to want to check into. You don't just need to be of legal age to drive, you do need to be of an age of majority in your state. You're also going to need a late model reliable car in most cases. If you don't have a car right now, Uber and Lyft both do have programs available that will help you get into a car affordably without having to worry about the mileage restrictions that come with many leases. There are also a couple of companies that do specialize in this area. They're called Hire Car, that will help you get into some wheels. One thing to keep in mind there, they do, from what I've researched and what I can tell by looking at the sites, it does look like they're usually a little bit more expensive than if you would go out and purchase a car on your own. But it is an option if you don't have a car right now. And you'll also want to keep in mind that there are going to be a couple of apps that we talk about today that do allow deliveries to be made by bike or scooter or even on foot in some cases. Now, with almost all of these opportunities today, you are going to need to pass a background check. And you also are going to need a valid U.S. driver's license. And the final thing you are probably going to need, especially if you are making deliveries by car, is you are going to need valid auto insurance. Now, in most cases, no additional insurance is needed other than what you are probably required to have by your state. As long as you have a valid policy, most apps will allow you to start driving. And many also provide you with no-cost insurance that's supplemental to what you have now that will cover you while you're working. Uber and Lyft, at the time of shooting this video, both provide $1 million in coverage while you're carrying passengers. And the coverage is going to be a little bit lower when you're just waiting for a ride or while you're off the clock. So you may also want to look into something that's called rideshare insurance. If you're working for Uber or Lyft, those will cover you at all times that you're working. And it's something that's offered by some of the top providers. Not every insurance company has it available right now. A couple that do are Allstate and USAA. And while we're speaking of insurance, you are going to want to check with your current carrier to see if that's available and also if it's necessary. And you're always going to want to disclose to your insurer if you are working as a rideshare driver. Some policies do exclude drive for hire. Now that we've covered some of the basics that you need to know and some of the requirements, that are going to allow you to get into these positions, let's start looking at a couple of individual opportunities. The first one that I wanted to talk to you about is called GrubHub. GrubHub is a really popular app in the food delivery space. This company says on their website that they fulfill more orders on their platform than any other, and it's also available in dozens of cities across the US. GrubHub has also partnered with a company that's called Seamless that does similar deliveries, so you may also be able to deliver food for that company as well. Now, when I looked into GrubHub, one thing that I did see was that the company does encourage drivers to sign up for scheduled blocks when they are available. Though I have heard from a couple of people online that that isn't necessary. You can just log in and work whenever you want. I can't guarantee that's the case. You know, when you're watching this video, things can change at any time with these companies. So you are always going to want to check their websites to see what the latest requirements and work arrangements are. Now, GrubHub doesn't list any actual wages or any ranges of income on their website. One thing you do need to be aware of with most of the gigs that we're talking about today is that your income is going to be largely dependent on tips. Most of these companies do encourage, order placers to either leave a tip while they're placing the order or after the order has been delivered. Most companies do allow you to keep 100% of the tips that are left, but it is something that you are going to have to take into consideration because, as I said, your income is going to be largely dependent on those tips. Now, similar to GrubHub is Uber Eats, which is obviously owned and ran by Uber. This one does have jobs available in a lot of cities across North America and even around the world. So this one may be available to some of those that are watching these videos from outside of the US. And Uber Eats is going to be one of those that does allow deliveries to be made by car, bike, or scooter. And you can set your own schedule and work as much or as little as you would like. Now, DoorDash is another one that's in the food delivery space. This one does allow deliveries to be made by motorcycles, scooters, bikes, car, or even foot in some markets. You do need to be at least 18 years of age or older to contract with that company, and you are going to need to pass a background check. Now, this app is available in several major US cities. This one, the rates from what I have been able to research, they can vary greatly by location. The workload is going to vary greatly by location as well. This one is one that does encourage generous tipping from the customers during the order process, which can offset some of the low delivery rates that are reported in some locations. Now, the last one we're going to talk about in the food delivery space is Postmates. This is one that I have heard really good things about. You can go online and work any Postmates market at any time. So say if you're traveling or maybe you have an extended stay in another location, you won't need to sign up in that additional city. You can go online and make some deliveries as long as you are an active Postmates driver already. Now, one thing that does set Postmates apart, at the time of filming this video, they did pay a little differently in that you're paid based on waiting time and also mileage. And there are some bonuses that do kick in occasionally during peak hours. And one thing I have heard is that Postmates does encourage these customers to tip generously during the order process. And that can lead to some great tips, and it also ensures that a lot more of those people are leaving tips since it isn't waiting to ask for them until after the delivery has been done. Now, the next delivery sector that we're going to be talking about is one that it has been really popular and in a lot of discussions in my own community, and that is grocery shopping and delivering groceries. There are a couple great companies out here that you are going to want to check out. Now, the first company we are going to talk about is called Instacart. This one's been around for a few years, and they actually have two different opportunities available. The first one is full service shoppers. These are going to be contractors that do both the shopping and the deliveries. And they're also just in-store shoppers that only do the shopping and getting the order ready for pickup. Now, the full-service shoppers do need to have access to a car, and they are hired as independent contractors. And they're also able to choose the hours that they want to work. Now, the in-store shoppers are hired as part-time employees with a flexible schedule, but no vehicle is required. Now, another company that has come onto my radar recently is Shipt, and that's because a lot of my own audience members have said that while they're out doing a lot of their Instacart shopping, they're seeing a lot of people in those same stores with Shipt shirts on. Now, it seems that this one's kind of picking up in popularity, and at the time of publishing this video, the company did give a pretty nice earning potential on their site. So that is something that you will want to check out, and maybe some of the reason that a lot of these Instacart shoppers are seeing more Shipt shirts these days is because of that income potential. Now, the requirements for Shipt, it is kind of a long list. They do want you to be 18 years of age or older. You do need to have a valid driver's license and car insurance and the ability to lift up to 40 pounds. That's going to be pretty standard among all of these opportunities. You're also going to need a reliable vehicle that is 1997 or newer. And obviously, knowledge of produce and groceries is going to be a requirement for either of these opportunities in order for you to succeed. And Shipt also wants you to have insulated cooler bags as well. Now let's get into some opportunities to make some deliveries of packages. The first one we're going to talk about is Amazon Flex. Now, Amazon has recently introduced same-day delivery in a lot of locations across the U.S. And in order to make that happen, they're taking on a lot of independent contractors, or Amazon Flex drivers is what they are called. These drivers get to set their own schedule, and right now on the Amazon Flex site, they're given a pretty good wage potential there, which is something you'll want to check out. During my research with some of the people that I talked to, this job, it does sound like it can be pretty stressful. From some of the recent reviews that I have read, they do state that you don't always know how far you're going to have to drive until you pick up the delivery. You kind of sign in and you're able to see what blocks are available. And once you pick a block, all of those packages are already assigned to that specific block, and you have to pick them all up and deliver them all. It's not something that you can pick and choose which packages that you want to deliver, like you can with some of the other opportunities that we spoke about today. Each delivery block is going to include, several houses within varying distances. So that's something that you are going to want to keep in mind. Now, Flex is currently available in about 50 cities in the U.S. If it's not available in your city yet, they do have a wait list that you can sign up for. Now, Amazon isn't the only merchant that's getting into the same-day delivery market. There are also companies like Best Buy, Walmart, PetSmart, Walgreens, and more in some locations. Those companies often are getting contractors through a company called DLive. Now, DLive is currently available in 35 markets across the U.S. Now, unlike a lot of these sites that we talked about in today's video, with DLive, you do need to work somewhat of a set schedule. You do need to log in by midnight on Tuesdays at the time of publishing this video in order to get priority access to hours that you want. Now, if you don't grab the hours that you want before Tuesday night, you can log in at any time and see if hours are available. They may not always be available, however. So if you are going to want to get somewhat of a guaranteed work through DLive, you are going to need to kind of determine your weekly schedule and get that set up every week by Tuesday. And deliveries here are usually within a 15-mile radius. Now, those are just a couple of opportunities that are available. There's actually a pretty extensive list that's on my website that I am going to leave you in the description below. There's some great opportunities out there that are available to you regardless of what your what your requirements are, what you want as far as work is concerned, and also the type of work that you would want to do. So there's going to be some great variety I want you to check out. Like I said, I'll leave that blog post link in the description below. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments about if you've worked for any of these companies or any other companies like this and what your experience has been. Now, if you liked today's video, please give it a like and a share, and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so you'll get notification of the next video. Until then, I wish you best of luck in finding your perfect side gig.